Gamblers Anonymous. Gamblers Anonymous, GA, is an international fellowship of people who have a compulsive gambling problem. They meet regularly to share their experiences, strength and hope, so they can help each other solve the problems compulsive gambling has created in their lives, and to help others recover from the addiction of compulsive gambling. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop gambling, as stated in the GA Combo Book page 2. Gamblers Anonymous uses the term compulsive gambling instead of pathological gambling or problem gambling or a gambling disorder, terms preferred by clinicians and the American Psychiatric Association, APA. History. Gamblers Anonymous was founded in 1957 by Jim Willis. Jim W. was an alcoholic who used his experience in Alcoholics Anonymous as the foundation in forming Gamblers Anonymous into a 12-step program. Due to favorable publicity by the newspaper columnist and TV commentator Paul Coates, of the Los Angeles Mirror, Gamblers Anonymous held its first group meeting, on September 13, 1957 in Los Angeles, California. 13 people attended the first Gamblers Anonymous meeting. The organization began in Los Angeles on September 13, 1957. By 2005 there were over 1,000 gigaamperes groups in the United States, and groups had been established in. Due to the global 2020 COVID-19 pandemic, most GA meetings moved to online platforms such as Zoom, GoToMeetings, telephone conference calls, or a combination of these medium. In-person gatherings at physical locations were temporarily suspended due to the COVID-19 task force guidelines, and other regulatory guidelines in other countries throughout the globe. Symptoms. Gamblers Anonymous members use the 20 questions as a guide to determine whether they are compulsive gamblers. This is not a definitive evaluation, and only the individual with the aid of their doctor can make the determination as to whether they have a compulsive gambling problem. The American Psychiatric Association's diagnosis criteria of a gambling disorder lists the need of a compulsive gambler to increase the amount of money bet, borrowing money to cover losses, lying to conceal the extent of his/her gambling, loss of relationships and jobs, and frequent thoughts of gambling. The National Center for Responsible Gaming, NCRG, uses the American Psychiatric Association's DSM-5 to describe the symptoms of a gambling disorder, aka compulsive gambling, to be chasing losses, inability to stop, cut back or control their gambling. A gambling disorder is the only non-substance use addiction identified in the American Psychiatric Association's DSM-5. The Mayo Clinic offers a list of symptoms for compulsive gambling, which include preoccupation with gambling, trying to control, cut back or stop, and lying. A compulsive gambler may sell personal property, or engage in illegal activity to finance the gambling addiction. NOAA lists indicators of compulsive gambling, borrowing money, and spending exceedingly long hours gambling. NOAA also lists some of the behaviors observable in the workplace of a compulsive gambler. Treatment. The American Psychiatric Association, APA, suggests counseling can help the compulsive gambler. The APA also offers do's and don'ts for partners or family members, which include seeking support from Gam-Anon, along with money management strategies. Gamblers Anonymous offers its members a number of suggestions for abstaining from gambling. These include not going near or into a gambling establishment. Meetings. GA meetings are the core of the fellowship. Meetings make it. Participating in GA meetings along with individual psychotherapy is the preferred form of treatment according to the UCLA Gambling Studies program. There are a few different meeting formats offered by Gamblers Anonymous. Gam-Anon. Gam-Anon is the sister 12-step program of Gamblers Anonymous, modeled after Al-Anon/Alateen for spouses, partners, family and friends of a compulsive gambler, who are suffering from the stresses and problems caused by the compulsive gambler's gambling and behaviors. Incidence rate and evaluation. Problem gambling is estimated to occur in 1.6% of the adult population in the United States. GA has a list of 20 questions that can be used to self-diagnose compulsive gambling. The results from their instrument have correlated strongly with other tests that screen for compulsive gambling, E.G. The Total Sensation Seeking Scale, Boredom Susceptibility, Experience Seeking, South Oaks Gambling Screen, and Disinhibition Subscales. Effectiveness. Gamblers Anonymous has been compared with other strategies, such as cognitive behavioral therapy as efficacy methods of psychotherapies for pathological gambling. Compared to problem gamblers who do not attend GA members tend to have more severe gambling problems, are older, have higher incomes, are less likely to be single, have more years of gambling problems, have larger debts, have more serious family conflicts, and less serious substance abuse problems. GA may not be as effective for those who have not had significant gambling problems. GA is effective to prevent relapses, inability to remain abstinent from gambling, but not as effective when helping members deal with the consequences of their relapse. GA spends much of its time and energy counseling members on how to deal with financial and legal problems. GA supports pressure relief groups where members take each other to task and encourage them to get honest with people in their lives and get their affairs in order. Gamblers who are able to moderate their activity are not likely to continue attending GA meetings. GA members who stopped attending meetings were more likely to consider the sharing at the meetings meaningless and were more critical of GA literature. Those who felt particularly elated at their first GA meetings were less likely to continue than those who had a more balanced first impression. GA, therefore, may be most suitable for severe problem gamblers who do not have compounding issues. Criticism. Attrition. Less than 8% of those who initially attend GA remain in the program and abstain from gambling for over a year. Program participation and abstinence increase if members are involved in additional therapy, or if one or more of their family members are involved in Gamma-Non or Gamma-Teen. Gender bias. Although the likelihood of attending GA is the same for males and females, GA has been characterized as a predominantly male fellowship. The number of female members, however, is increasing and there is an increasing sensitivity within GA to women's attitudes. GA's lack of appeal towards females has been attributed to GA's lack of focus on the principles of spirituality in other 12-step programs, like Alcoholics Anonymous, AA. A causal link, however, has not been shown. GA is often described as more secularized than AA. Among problem gamblers, it has been found that women are more focused on interpersonal issues, and that social issues were more likely to cause them to relapse. Males more frequently discuss external concerns such as jobs and legal problems, and are more likely to relapse because of substance abuse. Therefore, it does seem plausible that GA's downplaying of spiritual, interpersonal, and psycho-emotional issues inhibits its effectiveness for women. Literature. Gamblers Anonymous has several approved books used as standard literature in the group. These are some of the most popular examples: